It was June 6th, 1981. Amarillo, Texas police officers Bruce Clemens and Hank James had just sat down for a hearty lunch at Ray's Barbecue. What they were about to witness is something they have never been able to forget.
My partner and I were grabbing lunch over at Ray's Barbecue.
It was a typical West Texas day. It was a beautiful day. Then all of a sudden I heard a scream.
Help! Help! Please come help me!
The scream was coming from the Amarillo Theater Company, which is right across the street. Not that I've ever been in there.
I'm a fan of the arts. My partner, on the other hand, is not.
I'm from West Texas. I feel the arts are the work of the devil.
The officers, destined to disagree on the importance of the arts, leapt up from their piping hot Texas barbecue to investigate.
We entered the room and we saw two gentlemen who we now know to be Pete Kelly and Tommy Finnegan. Both Kelly and Finnegan were holding scripts.
You guys were rehearsing.
It's a play, yeah. We got to get these lines down.
It's a rehearsal? For a play, yes. Okay.
Back to one.
Well, at that point, it looked like these gentlemen were in the throes of expressing their humanity through the beauty of theater.
A grown man acting on a stage is just unnatural.
The officers sat back down to their cowboy-style ribs, a style popularized in West Texas, and the only style of ribs worth anybody's time. Then, screaming.
Please come help me!
My partner and I, we look at each other, but it sounded exactly the same as the last time. We knew it was just a rehearsal.
And then we heard something that we couldn't ignore.
Help! Though I did indeed say I'm an actor, rehearsal is over and my life is now in grave danger. I could die at any second unless someone comes to help me.
So we went to investigate.
The screams penetrated the air the way a smoky mesquite flavor penetrates a prime cut of brisket after 18 hours in a West Texas barbecue pit.
He's gonna kill me!
What's going on? Guys, it's still a rehearsal.
And this time, of course, we want answers, some straight talk. They told us that the characters they were playing were actors in the play that they were rehearsing right then.
These are the lines that my character says.
So they're actors playing actors.
None of this is real. I mean, it'll be real if we do our jobs, but yeah. Okay.
I tend to trust artists because what they do is beautiful.
It sounded to me like it was something that the devil had his hands all over.
The officers sat down to their ribs, which, thank God, were not made in the blasphemous barbecue styles of Kansas City or the Carolinas. Then, screaming.
Help! He's actually going to kill me! Someone please help!
I mean, it sounded exactly like the scream we heard before.
Then we heard something we couldn't even think about ignoring.
To the officer who tripped oh so suddenly and hoped no one would notice on his way into the rehearsal space! And to his partner, who coughed into the crook of his arm on the way out. Put down your ribs and remove your bibs and come help me!
No longer did it sound like an actor channeling the creative muse.
The officers ran with fury, knowing that a man's life hung in the balance, and that their lunch break was basically fucked now.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
It's still just a rehearsal.
whoa.
We are actors playing characters who are actors.
Pete Kelly explained that he is playing a character who is an actor named Sal Caruso, and that Sal is rehearsing for a play where he plays a character named Sancho the Murderer.
His character, Michael DiStefano, is playing a character named Martin Vasquez, who is the victim of Sancho the Murderer.
The thing is, Sal, Pete's character, actually wants to kill his scene partner, Tommy Finnegan's character, Michael DiStefano. So in the script, 2 police officers, having heard the commotion, come into the rehearsal space to investigate in the world of the play. Sal, in the play, then has to convince the police officers that the whole thing is just a rehearsal.
It's just a rehearsal, officers.
Pete made that very clear to us.
It's just a rehearsal, officers. It's on the poster behind you.
They pointed to a poster that was up on the wall right there. It was a poster for a play within a poster for a play.
So it's a play within a play. Now, I'm not a thespian, but this tickled my fancy. Pete Kelly said that the reason the scene is so funny is because the police officers in the scene are doing their job, but they're really kind of dum-dums. And they're oblivious to the fact that a real murder is just about to take place in the rehearsal space.
They're really gullible cops.
It's funny stuff. It's a lot of detail, not quite getting everything.
It's in the script.
What do you mean it's in the script?
I look down at the script. It says, "What do you mean it's in the script?" I look at my partner. My mind is racing.
Let's get out of here. Let's go.
So we left and went back to Ray's.
We sit down, and now we hear what sounds like a live chainsaw going right through human flesh.
I looked at Officer James and I said, whatever they're doing in there is a triumph of the arts because it really sounds like someone is dying. I mean, this really sounds like a great play.
Later that day, Tommy Finnegan's body was found separated from his head, apparently sheared clean off with a chainsaw. His murder remains a mystery to this day. His killer still at large. The only possible witness, Pete Kelly, hasn't been seen since that fateful day in 1981.
What would I do if I got my hands on Pete Kelly? I'd ask him one thing. Pete, did you happen to see anybody who could have come into the rehearsal space to kill Tommy Finnegan?
Whoa!